Welcome to Layer Masking 103. In this particular video, I am going to use a non-adjustment layer to create a layer mask, and we're going to really focus on using filters. So applying a filter and then being able to mask back some of the details from the original background layer. So the first step in order to do this is to make a copy of my background layer. So Command or Control J. And then the next step is I want to apply a filter. So this is something that is well, there's a lot of fun involved when looking at filters, and it might take a little time to get used to several of the filters, but the first step I would recommend is just going to the filter gallery and then take a little bit of time noticing what different filters there are and notice how they are categorized, both artistic, brush strokes, and so on. Some fun ones down in texture. I like to use the stained glass when I'm demonstrating just because it gives a really defined difference and it's sort of fun. All of the filters have additional options on the right-hand side, so you can see and you can make changes to make it more appropriate to your particular image. You can also, in the bottom left-hand corner, zoom down to see the entire image if that's effective for you too. When you're done, go ahead and hit OK, and it's going to make that change to that layer. Now, if I want to mask back, so the foreground flamingo looks like the original image, like this, but everything else is in stained glass, it's as simple as adding a mask. So in our previous 101 and 102 videos, we have either had a built-in mask with an adjustment layer or we added a mask. So I'm going to go ahead and add a mask here. And I have my white mask, and I'm going to use my brush and my black color, and I'm just going to paint back the details. So I can do that to make the entire selection, and if I go overboard, of course it's as simple as toggling back to white using the X key or the toggle button, and then I can clean it back up again. So we've done that a few times now, but we also discovered in the 102 video that it's more efficient to possibly make a selection first. So I'm going to go back to that option and make a selection. I just turned the stained glass layer off, and I've gone to my background layer just to make a quick selection. Select the subject, and then I can fine-tune my selection so it's exactly what I want. And then I can come back to my layer mask. I'm going to turn the layer back on to be visible, choose my layer mask, and now I can paint with the paintbrush, again painting in black. Whoops. If I get out of the quick selection tool and actually choose my brush, that would be more helpful. And notice what happened here. So this time I painted, but I did not double check that I was actually on the mask. I was on the image. So it literally painted the image with black. I'm going to just Command Z to undo real quick and toggle over to my mask. And now with my black paint, I can paint in, which is revealing what's on the background layer. I'm going to use the right bracket key to make my brush really large, and Command or Control D to deselect, and it's done. Now, as you notice, because of this particular filter, some of the edges look kind of funny. So this is where I would go back in with a very small brush and do some touch up. So I'm going to make my brush much smaller. And I'm not liking these kind of little stained glass parts that stick out, even though it's just part of the texture. I just don't feel that it really works in this particular image. So I'm going to go ahead and use a brush. I am going to soften the brush. So again, with my drop down, I can change the hardness and softness. I can also use Shift with my left bracket key. And if you look at the top up here, the diagram of what my brush looks like, if I use Shift and left bracket, notice it gets much softer, it's more feathered. Shift and right bracket, it becomes a hard edge too. So I prefer using shortcuts versus using those drop downs all the time because it's just a quicker way for me to go about what I want to do. So let's just see if we can kind of clean this up. I'm going to use this feathered brush and just come along the edges a little bit more, so it's going to soften So the brush I'm using, I'm painting with black, so it's revealing, and it's a softer brush, so that way it's just cleaning up these edges so they don't seem quite so distracting. And it is revealing the original background. And I can go around the entire image and do that and finish it up. So that's the basics when it comes to using a non-adjustment layer, using a filter as such to create a layer mask and to reveal what was on the background layer. But let's do it one more time, and this time incorporating a little bit more advanced methods when it comes to selections. So I'm gonna, with my background layer, I'm gonna go ahead and create a new background layer. I'm gonna go ahead and apply the filter. And this time I'm gonna choose a different filter just so we have a variety. This one's green, we'll stick with that. And now, to speed up my process, since you're understanding a little bit better how masks work, this time I'm going to make a selection first and then add the mask. So it'll speed up time. So let's go ahead and grab my quick selection tool. And you can use any selection tool that you find works best. So whether it comes down to the object selection or quick selection or any of the others. So let's see what it has selected here. Seems like it has had a hard time finding my selection. So I'm going to actually toggle back over to the original background layer, try it one more time, select the subject. Could be that filter. Yeah, it looks like the filter on the background copy kind of distracted the automatic features of Photoshop. And I'm going to use the Alt or Option key to remove this part of the selection. Now I have a really nice selection of my flamingo. I'm going to jump back onto the background copy layer. My selection, my marching ants stay consistent the same. Now all I need to do is add a mask. So I'm going to click on the mask tool, and it has created the mask for me. Notice what it has done though is it applied the texture to the flamingo in the foreground and not to the background. So, but it's done a very clean job of it because I used my selection tools first. So I just need to reverse this mask and I'll be done. In order to reverse the mask, you want to find the inverse, and the shortcut key for that is Control or Command I. So I just hit Control or Command I, I'm going to zoom back out again, and now I have texture on the background and the foreground is revealing from my background layer. So I have the flamingo that's nice and clean and sharp, and then the background has some distractions with the texture on it. So that's taking it one step further. Instead of just using the brush to paint it back in, it's incorporating your selection tools to make your workflow much more efficient and timely.